All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Moving Commas podcast. Today, we're going to be speaking a little bit more in regards to how to relieve the pressure and unnecessary anxieties during a sales call for you as the consultant and also the prospect. It can be really scary when you start off with sales, and of course, getting into your first batch of sales calls can definitely create a lot more gaps and gray areas in your approach on how to create a good frame to your introduction or your discovery call. As a consultant, your main focus is to go ahead and create an environment for your prospect so they can understand what the clear objective is in regards to the consultation and where you want to take it. As a result to taking hundreds, if not possibly maybe even close to 1,000 plus sales calls for my agency, I understand that the biggest way to create a safe environment for yourself and the prospect is to clearly frame the call and explain your intentions to help the prospect arrive to some sort of clarity and or straight solution from where they are right now and where they want to go. Creating pressure for yourself can come along with being inexperienced, with understanding how to go through a thorough discovery and also understanding what the needs or certain pain points of your prospect could look like. Again, with time and practice, you are going to get better with understanding what your prospect is dealing with and what they actually require. Because as a consultant, as if you're just starting off or simply just getting around to getting good at sales, you start to understand there's a lot of symmetry and a lot of pain variables that actually just surface to the top in the beginning of the sales call. So when you're actually going into the process of creating less pressure for yourself and less pressure for the consultant, it comes with a level of confidence and direct frameworks that you practice and also look over through a bunch of possibly maybe sales calls or archives from maybe a company you're working for, or let's say you're an entrepreneur working your own offer or selling your own services or products. You start to determine all these variables as you gain more experience and start reviewing your calls. For example, when creating a lean or let's say a very safe environment for realtors that we actually work with as well too, my main focus is to simply allow them to understand that there are absolutely no expectations to actually commit to working with us during our discovery process. But if they do join our consultation call and they are in a good position to get our help, I make it very clear right in the beginning of the call that it is you and me as the consultant and the client versus whatever the issue is within the business. And our sole objective is to figure out how they can walk away with a illustrated blueprint or a direct approach to getting there, whether it's with us or possibly maybe even doing it themselves. What this creates is a no commitment, no pressure environment, allowing them to understand that you are simply just invested into getting right to the solution and what the issue is. And when you create that sort of direct approach with your calls and you are also confident with what it is that you are actually proposing as a closer or a high ticket sales representative, you start to understand that it's a lot more of just creating a direct conversation with your prospect, asking them what got them to book the call, what is it that they're currently possibly facing in their business, what they have currently tried before, and listing out a whole canvas and a blueprint of experiences is going to allow you to understand what are their deepest insecurities when it comes to either working with other companies, different obstacles, false beliefs that they have with other companies or themselves, or maybe even the company that they're running. It allows you to illustrate a canvas, and then it gets you to directly approach what the issue may be. And when you get to isolate that one factor and understand the prospect before you actually go into your pitch, you earn their respect. And these are all a combination of things that you need to understand, that it can create a lot of anxiety and a lot of unnecessary pressure, again, on yourself and also the prospect, if you, as the person that is guiding the call, specifically the consultant, doesn't know how to lead. And this all comes down to practice, reviewing your calls, and simply understanding your market, your offer, and your avatar, most importantly. And as you get better and better, you will get a lot more efficient with your discovery process, which is where you're able to actually set those expectations and create a safe environment where you can clearly create a indication of where the call is going to start and how it is going to end, depending on what we discover and how we can help you. Again, we want to optimize for conversions and make more money. Yes, we get that. But at the end of the day, sales is a very simple, yet highly effective skill set to actually acquire. And you do need to understand that with practice, you will get better. And of course, even in my process over here, as I'm still scaling my company, we're still growing, and I'm also, training my sales team as well. It's something that I have to constantly, interject into my company and get them to understand that, you have to be a human. You have to not be tied up in just wanting to get the commission or the close. You really need to treat every sales call like it's your last, and you need to understand that that person is there for a very specific reason. If anyone books a call, there is a definite reason or something they are struggling with. And if you can't figure out a way to get to that certain focal point, you will not get far. So again, that's all I want to kind of put into this, little podcast over here. I will be talking a lot more on sales, but again, if you like this podcast and just the content that I'm sharing, please share and subscribe with anyone that you find might, think this is a good resource and might help them out in their journey. My name's Amar, and we will see you on the next podcast. Thanks.